Hello, folks. This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle. I'm doing a update on several different things that have happened. And of course, you can follow me at Just the Right Angle, where I talk about various issues that affect you. Most importantly, I talk about how to get involved, how you can make a difference regarding these issues, because obviously talking about them without doing something about it really is kind of meaningless. Sadly, there's a lot of people that do that. They just kind of get people wound up and angry, but I try to make it to where people can do something, be effective in making change regarding this issue. So I saw this. This was posted yesterday. I saw it late last night. You can see the timestamp there, 4:47 a.m. I've played part of this video. It's just kind of while waiting for people to join. But this is, but I need to give the description of it to know people talking about this. This is a non-citizen truck driver from Mexico was found asleep on the side of the interstate in Clarksville, Arkansas. That is northwest Arkansas, about maybe an hour and a half northwest of Little Rock. He violated several types of service rules. He was driving in what's known as personal conveyance mode, couldn't speak English, had no work visa. His license was expired. He's 700 miles from the border. He's hauling a load from Mississippi to Oklahoma, so he was going across our state. Now, I don't know what cabotage is. I think that's a term that this group used. This is American Truckers that did this video. And then he said, Arkansas Highway Police, zero training on this. They didn't even question the border crossing card or why he's running domestic loads. The Arkansas Highway Police, this is the important part I wanted to highlight. Everyone needs to see what's going on. The Arkansas Highway Police Chief actively worked with the Arkansas Trucking Association against legislation in this year's legislative session that would have banned the use of B1, B2 tourist visas for truck drivers in the state of Arkansas. If this happened in Oklahoma, ICE would have been called immediately, but Arkansas isn't cooperating with ICE regarding this issue. So they dropped him at a hotel with a slap on the wrist warning for English proficiency. So basically, this guy is probably going to kill somebody or cause an accident before the state of Arkansas does something. That's basically what's happening here. I'll play a little more of this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 20 minutes long. I will post a link to this video that you can watch while it's playing, so you can watch it later on your own.
You have weapons? Yeah. You have a weapon? What? You have any drugs?
No.
No drugs?
No.
Okay, weapons, armas.
No,
Pistola.
No.
No. Cerveza.
No.
No.
I wasn't.
Okay. Why are you parked here?
No. This is did you hide my gun?
English.
I don't know.
Why are you parked here?
No.
You don't understand? No. No bueno.
What's the
Paperwork for your
fidgeting?
load? This? Where'd you pick it up?
Missouri.
In Missouri?
Yes.
What city?
Doesn't know.
No.
Several tons of machinery that's being ridden around the state of Arkansas. We've already seen recently the death of 3 people in Florida that was killed by a guy who actually collapsed the
You
bridge
picked it up
on him.
in where?
Northern Lake, Missouri.
Okay, this says it's not from Missouri. This says it's from Mississippi.
See, sorry. Mississippi, sorry.
So you picked it up in Missouri or Mississippi?
Mississippi.
In Mississippi?
Yes.
Why are you telling me Missouri?
No, it's this day.
Oh, okay. see your logbook.
Yeah.
And remember, this is going on across the nation, across California. Recently had a story of one.
What?
Of an illegal alien truck driver.
English. You have no drive time?
No.
So he's violating all kinds of violations. And if you are familiar with what happened in Florida, you'll see the illegal alien that killed 3 people there should have been deported years ago. He flunked English, road sign test. The guy should have never been operating heavy machinery. Turns out he had also actually collapsed a bridge in Arkansas years ago. And so I'll just kind of share a little bit of this story. This happened, when was this? This was he crossed illegally in 2018. Trump administration rejected his work license there, but then the Biden administration obviously let this guy in. And he was arrested on August 16th, 2025. It was August 12th when he killed those 3 people. The guy fled to California. He killed people in Florida, and he made it to California because California is a sanctuary state. And then he was actually returned. He had to be pulled out. He had to be extradited back to Florida so he could face actual justice. So the illegal aliens are being. You can see what the damage that was done by this guy. So this could happen in Arkansas, and the guy you see in the video there could be the one who does it. So even though we're a red state, this could still happen. And you can see some of the comments here. So he's on a tourist visa. And see, Arkansas is supposed to be working with ICE. We're also supposed to have anti-sanctuary city laws, where if a city is aiding illegal aliens, they're supposed to be defunded. Yes, this lady's right. Sarah Huckabee Sanders could put a stop to this. Now, this wasn't connected to Walmart, but they're an organization that supported this type of behavior. Here's some other footage. And this guy's probably right. This guy could have been high on meths or some other drug. Now, this is the recent story of an illegal from New York that had a fake driver's license. You can see the crime they're allowed to get away with. But yeah, that's the kind of danger we're being put in. But you ask yourself, why is nothing being done about this? Well, remember, Arkansas is supposed to be a super Republican state. We're supposed to have a Republican supermajority. We're supposed to be all into, we're all supposed to have this big super Republican constitutional offices, including our governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's supposed to be the big super Republican conservative because she did work for Trump years ago. And I got news for you. She's not. Now, this is a screen capture that I did earlier today. And I will show this. I actually had this as the thumbnail for this video. And I'll put it up here to show you the details of, if I can make it full screen. There we go. This is the problem right here. Now, see this guy right here is Chris Caldwell. If you follow my show, you know who he is. You know he's involved. This is our governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And that, I believe, is her husband, and this is Chris Caldwell's wife. Now, remember the Arkansas Trucking Association, the group that the Arkansas Highway Patrol Sheriff worked with to stop a law that would have prevented illegals from, with these tourist visas, from being able to drive? You remember that? It is mentioned here. This is one of Chris Caldwell's clients right here. If you wonder why your utility bills are powering up or keep going up, it's because this is another of his clients. And if you know why the Republican Party did next to nothing regarding the COVID mandates, these are the health organizations. This Cox, I think, is media. But this is the organization that thinks it's okay for guys like this and Mr. Singh and others to be on our highways.
The driver went.
Again, right here. Actually, you can't see it because he's block. The graphic is blocking the whole thing. Again, it's just right there. You would have been banned. So, again, this guy's going to get people killed, most likely, and maybe not only them. Well, hey, Trent Kim. Well, thanks for the comments. That's a quote from there. So it's real simple. This should be top news, but of course it isn't. Oh, by the way, this guy over here is United States Senator John Bozeman. He is not up for re-election, but this is the problem right here. So when you turn on the news one day and see a trucker in Arkansas kills family of 3 or collapses a bridge or starts a pileup, remember, it's because of this guy. It's because of this organization, the Arkansas Trucking Association, and this guy who is running the Republican Party of Arkansas. If you follow my videos, you know this guy is able to shut down state committee meetings. He's been involved in the effort to root conservatives out of the conventions. And consultants like him manage a lot of the campaigns for which you and I are going to be told to volunteer for free for. Well, they get massive amounts of dollar bills that should be going to help Republican candidates. And instead, it goes to these guys. It's just like the American Revolution. In the American Revolution, everybody talks about Benedict Arnold being a traitor, but in reality, a lot of the generals under George Washington were actually saboteurs. And some of them were most likely in on the take, and they're making horrible decisions. And we nearly lost the American Revolution because of that. But that is the kind of thing that is going on right now. So again, the Republican Party of Arkansas needs to be cleaned because I myself feel like I'm being used by these people. And if you've ever volunteered to help a Republican, you probably got the same feeling. That's why a lot of people leave the Republican Party. We've tried to come back and reform the Republican Party. In the convention before last, we tried to have a voice in the state convention and make reforms. And this guy, along with Melanie Golick and others in Pulaski County, deliberately sabotaged our efforts to put delegates to that convention. And then we had a fake. If you've followed me before, you've seen this before. We had a fake credentialing committee meeting where we were locked out of the Republican Party of Arkansas headquarters in 100-degree heat. We had the police sicked on us, and then we had the police sicked at us again during the convention of 2022 at the Embassy Suites. We were later kicked out of the Embassy Suites lobby by police that should have not been hired, that were illegally enforcing political sabotage. They were using the law to go after political enemies. And I'll talk a little bit later about another incident where that's about to take place. So, folks, I'm going to take a little break right now. I'm going to play some footage of a similar video, another example of what I'm talking about regarding truckers, and then I'll talk a little bit more about we'll switch gears to another topic that I have posted here. Feel free to share this link with others. Have other folks follow along, and I'll be back in just a little bit.
Got to be kidding me. I mean, what the are... Dude, what? What are you doing?
I'm going that way. Keep it right here. But it's not working. Then I'm doing done. I'll go the other side.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Okay.
You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now.
Okay. What I'm doing, sir?
Well, one, why the going the wrong way down the freeway?
That's all right. I'm doing it back. Sorry, sir.
Well, no, I'm just asking because
I'm so sorry. But when is the call? I go that side. When that's now.
yeah, turn around when you have a clear spot.
Okay.
Don't even move your truck. Turn your hazard lights on for one.
Okay.
Turn your hazard lights on now. Your hazard lights, your blinkers. Your blinkers, turn your hazard lights on. They're on, okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
Unreal. Turn on.
So there you go. TucsonNews.com is the one who shared that. Scary story of what is going on regarding that issue. So I'm going to share something else that's going on. There are several elections happening November 18th. And most people have no idea they're going on. Actually, let me share this tab instead because I got to go through a whole list of them. Then I'm going to tell you some other ones that even these people miss. This is a group called arvotes.org. And what is going on is there are several ballot initiatives that will be happening November 18th, special elections. Now, the state of Arkansas has supposedly banned a lot of these what they call special election tax increases because they were being held on everything from Valentine's Day to a few days before Christmas. And these city and county governments are letting roads fall apart. They're letting the sewer system falling apart. They'll let the schools fall apart, these school districts along with them. And then they will whine and complain about how they need a tax increase. And sometimes they'll mix in the repairs of the police and fire station with pet projects. So I'll have to go through these. I'll go through them quickly as I can. Arkadelphia School District, an increase of 3 mills spanning 30 years. This is, for those that don't know, it's a millage. This will be a tax on your property on top of what you already pay. And of course, Arkansas, unfortunately, so far as I know, you don't get the, even if you buy or own your own home, your own car, they're still going to tax you on it. And of course, this usually is a tax on businesses as well. But it's more money going to the school system. The school system, which already devours a lot of our federal and state tax and money, they want more. And this is Arkadelphia, a little bitty town, south, I believe in the southwest area of Arkansas. By the way, this is the only place I've been able to find a list like this. I've tried and searched. The Arkansas Secretary of State does not bother to let people know this list is here. So you have to literally hunt this down. And these people, by the way, weren't even able to find everything. So there may be another tax increase that neither of us know about, but I'm trying the best I can. I'll post a link to this so you can at least see this and know, hey, this is going on. Bella Vista, an extension of a 1 cent sales and use tax. So when they tell you that a tax increase is going to sunset, they lie to you. They will always try to find a way, find something that they'll need to extend it for. See here, we ran out of money for the fire and city administration complex, street improvement, and fire and police. Somehow we didn't have money. I guarantee you in Bella Vista, there's something that they're wasting money on. There's some bike path or some green space or some other solar panel green project that they're wasting money on that they could have used the money for, but they didn't. So they're trying to increase money that way. So they're here in Conway, the city of Conway, about 30 minutes north of Little Rock. A whole bunch of bonds, a convention center, a music venue. If these places can make their own money, then why do they need taxpayer funds? So here's public safety. See, again, just like I told you before, this stuff may be needed, and that's a maybe, but for more funding. But in most likely cases, again, they could probably take for the funds. But these are all supposed to be things that pay for themselves, supposedly. This is all supposed to be for tourist pet projects. And these people are supposed to come in and supposedly spend all this money, and somehow it's supposed to pay for itself and then make money for the taxpayers. It never works. Okay? Sell the boardwalk to a bank or somebody else so they can put their logo on it. The Grand Theater, these are usually named after things like the Alltel Arena, which now became the Simmons Bank Arena. Okay, sell that to a bank. Same thing with the convention center. Have companies pay for these things. But no, so they're trying to sneak it in on November 18th. If you're in Conway, you need to vote these down. This is some kind of annexation in Greenland, Arkansas. I honestly do not know where Greenland, Arkansas is. If somebody wants to look it up on a map and say it's over here, go ahead. I didn't even know there was such a place. This is like when those tornadoes come by and you're like, you hear about these towns? It's just like that. It's but they're having some kind of annexation. Generally speaking, those are usually a bad thing because that means you're going to be taxed. You're going to be hit with city tax. So, generally speaking, no, I would vote no on that. I've just put the link to this in the chat. So if you're like, what is this? I need to look at this some more. Yeah, go ahead and take this link so you can look at it. Here's another tax increase. Marion County ordinance. I believe Marion County is in northern part of Arkansas. 0.5% local sales tax and use taxes in Marion County. And of course, it's for the jail, but what else are they spending in Marion County that they could use on the jail instead of, are they spending money on green projects? Is there something else going on? This is some kind of Nettleton School District. I don't know where that is. Something about refunding a previous debt and retirement of it. And then I don't even know how much it is, but it's some kind of election in Nettleton School District. Sherwood, Arkansas, is trying to do a 0.75% sales tax. Refunding of existing bonds, park improvements. Why can't these parks pay for themselves? Why can't they find a way to fund these parks? They're supposed to be, and of course, animal shelters. Oh, these things oftentimes take a lot of money to fund. And then a permanent downtown district. This is basically a place where they think if they allow people to get drunk, it'll somehow bring in more tourist dollars. So this is a get drunk place. There was actually a fight recently in Jonesboro regarding in one of these districts. And then Pocahontas is having some kind of tax increase as well. Again, they don't even have the dollar amount here. And then Texarkana is supposed to have a bond question as well. Here we at least have a dollar. That's 5 mills on their property. So these are tax increases that this organization talked about in AR votes. I sent them information about 2 other tax increases, which they didn't have. One was the Lincoln County 5 mil tax increase, and then the Cleveland County 6 mil tax increase that they were missing from the list. So this is the response I got from this organization, which, by the way, is done research looking for these votes. I could find the Cleveland County information, but I cannot seem to find anything on Lincoln County. Do you have any details for that election you can share? So I'm looking for these tax increases. This person's looking for them, and we still can't find them. So you know full well that your average voter is not going to find them. This is the only thing I could actually find regarding this tax increase. It's a Facebook post. And I hate to say it, the only part I disagree with is the first sentence. I don't think all residents of Lincoln County are aware. I think a lot of them have no idea what's going on. But yeah, they're going to have a 5 mil increase in November. It's actually November 18th. And then there's supposed to be some assessor that's going on. And again, 89% of the tax money from the assessing plus the 5 mil increase, if passes, goes to the Star City schools. And so, yeah, there's a tax increase happening here. And again, most people have no idea what's going on. And if you I'll show you some of the comments in this thing here so you can see. Again, infrastructure improvements are supposed to be done at the schools. You'll see this. You'll see these in these small towns. You'll see these schools, the roads are falling apart. Lots of other things are just, they're just, the infrastructure is in bad need of repair, but then you look at the schools and they'll look like immaculate Taj Mahals. So they just remodeled the preschool thing, and it's going to cost millions. It sounds like a want and need, and yeah, it's supposed to remodel a preschool. There's by the way, local preschools already here. And so most people absolutely agree, but yeah, and there's some more details about it. So the correction there, well, it's not personal property. I'm not sure what it is for. And then here's somebody else talking about this. Desha County got $1,400 last year for the Dumas school. They're 65. They should have a freeze so they on their tax increases. But this is it. This is the only, and there's some more details about this, but this is the only thing I've been able to find on this details regarding the tax increase. And I'll talk some more about some other tax increases that are going on and then some more details. So I'm going to take another break. I'm going to play another video. These are people who need to be fired for celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk and doing it in a snooty, intellectual way. I'm going to remind people of this here. Go ahead and play this. You're going to go on a break.
So much nicer than 1968.
Right.
It just was.
Yeah.
And we had a certain incendiary situation in the late 60s, and it's cyclical, but it cannot be cyclical unless we remain a competent, good country on the whole. At the moment, I hope that we are, but we may be going into talking about President Trump.
Yeah,
but at the same time, he is challenging our underlying constitutional principles in his authoritarian actions, which they are picking up. That I think that further complicates it. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that we also, for this incident or any others, it's just that, by the way, at the same time, we're going through challenges to our constitutional principles because this president believes, with a lot of public support, that this is a time that needs a strong man, an authoritative leader. And that's not the way we're founded. And so that compounds the problems that we face. Our courts have to stand up, our people have to stand up, and we've got to have elections that people believe, and in which and we've got to have elections in which the Democrats give her better options and are a more competent party as the opposition party. And then we need a Supreme Court, if it comes down to it, to issue a big ruling. And let's hope all of that can happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of these clowns, Roby Brock and John Brummett, this is right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, are blaming Donald Trump, supposed attacks on the Constitution for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. These two people need to be fired. John Brummett writes an article for the Democrat Gazette, and then Roby Brock, of course, has Talk Business. That's his own company. Need to be boycotted. They're even worse than those that celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk. At least those people are honest. At least those people, they're proud of their hatred. And what's even sadder is a lot of Republicans will go on the Talk Business show and they'll sit there and pretend like Roby Brock is some kind of nonpartisan journalist. The guy worked for Bill Clinton. So here's another organization that also lists some of these special elections. This is U of A, Division of Agriculture Research and Extension. This is an article by Kristen Higgins, September 30th. I don't know who did the AR votes thing. Doesn't give credit to there. There is no central database of local elections in Arkansas. Why? Cole Jester's our Secretary of State. He's supposed to be a Republican. It doesn't take that much to set up a website. I mean, this doesn't look like an expensive website. You don't need fancy graphics, just a list of elections. So I did email these people the same thing. And even because they didn't have the Cleveland County elections or the Lincoln County elections. And again, as I said before, there may be some other elections that we don't know about. So if I'll go through this list, and if you know of an election, say, hey, you had to include this one, please let me know. Little River County, which I don't think was on the other one. It's a regarding bonds. A local ballot issue group circulate a petition and collective signatures to put the matter on the ballot for voters countrywide to decide. A for vote would keep the county judge's order in effect, and an against vote would void the order. I'm still confused about. There's the one in Marion County. There's more details about the one in Bella Vista, and some more dollar signs. 3 separate sales tax proposals. And this is on top of Arkansas taxes. Ozark. So this is another one that was missed in the other one. Entertainment district. Oh, actually, I think it was on there. There's more details about the one in Sherwood, one in Texarkana, and then there's Arkadelphia School District. There's the tax right there. Nettleton School District. This again has more details about it, and I don't know where Nettleton is. So again, these school districts, there's been a reduction of these special election tax increases, but they have not gone away. And again, November 18th, a lot of people are going to miss it. They're going to be, planning on where to go for Thanksgiving. They're going to be out deer hunting, and they're going to forget that this is going on. And as far as I know, nobody's ever posted a video about this list. There's been no report about it. If the TV media has done a report about it, I haven't seen it. If someone would like to post and say, hey, there's this place here that has all these tax increases and the details about them and the early voting and all that, please let me know. But as far as I know, I haven't seen it. And so, and I think that's done on purpose. Well, we know that's being done on purpose. They do not want the people to be informed. And speaking of voting, for those, if you have followed me, you know that I have been heavily involved in the effort regarding paper ballots. Yours truly actually was in the fight to help put paper ballots on a state level. That effort was sabotaged by Tim Griffin. There's been several counties where signatures were gathered to put on the chance to have paper ballots to get us off of the corrupt electronic voting machine systems, which we know for a fact have been proven to be used to steal elections all around the world and including the USA. The guy spearheading that effort has been a guy named Colonel Conrad Reynolds. He has been for years now fighting for this. This is one of his main videos here. Actually, I may play that during my next break. But recently, apparently, Colonel Reynolds has been subject of an arrest. Yes, they are going to arrest. They're going to try to arrest Colonel Reynolds. This is an hour-long video regarding this issue. This is Gateway Pundit. Here's the link I went for. Colonel Reynolds is being charged for electioneering for simply conducting an exit poll. Let me see if this is the right link. No, this is a photo. Sorry about that. Here's the link. Let me share this. I won't read all this, but I'll just read this next. The Lawfare persists. Decorated Army colonel faces criminal charges in Arkansas for electioneering after conducting exit poll. This is by Brian Lupo. It was dated August 13th, 5. Now, this talks about all the stuff that happened with Tina Peters, who's still in jail, by the way. What happened in Atlanta with Fannie Willis. So they go through that. And here's the part about Arkansas. Searcy County became the first county in the states to vote exclusively on hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots. They say bumpy first run. That's because they did their job, but the Arkansas Secretary of State tried to harass them. Also, an organization called the Arkansas Association of Counties tried their best to stop the effort to use paper ballots. The Arkansas State Board of Election Commissioners attempted to disqualify the county commissioners, but that failed thanks in part to pressure from people like you. I was actually at that hearing for most of it, was able to record a lot of what happened there. Independence County was set to follow their footsteps. They voted in 62% in favor of a move to mirror Searcy County. So now after this, there was this, according to Little Rock Public Radio, which by the way you pay for with your taxes, an election worker heard several complaints about Reynolds and Black, someone else, bothering voters. The warrant says they were asking voters questions and conducting an exit poll as close as 29 feet to the building. By the way, it's supposed to be the entrance. If the claims are true, Reynolds broke state law by banning electioneering. This is when someone tries to solicit votes or talk about an issue within 100 feet of a polling place. Reynolds at about 29 feet was well within an illegal threshold. First of all, you got to have evidence of that. As a matter of fact, they are supposed to measure the area where you can do election stuff. And I've had this issue before where I tried to gather signatures in front of a polling location, and I've had the guy come out and yell at me saying, "You're too close." I said, "Well, it's their job to measure it." And so Colonel Reynolds is supposed to turn himself on Wednesday over the charge. Here's the code regarding electioneering: the display or audible dissemination of information that advocates for or against any candidate, issue, or measure on a ballot. You're not supposed to hand out material or solicit signatures or contributions, all that other stuff. It's not supposed to be within 100 feet of the polling location. But exit polling is not among that. Not to mention the fact is so far they have yet to produce evidence that Colonel Reynolds was within 29 feet of a location. And former Attorney General Mike Beebe, who was a Democrat, by the way, exit polling does not involve the distribution of campaign material or other purposes. The conduct of exit polling cannot be reasonably canonized as electioneering. And so far as I know, there's been no court case to overturn that. And this is Colonel Reynolds' press release regarding this. So a lot of people are talking about this. Senator Mark Fincham, Colonel Rob Menace, Roger Stone, Joe Hoft, Wendy Rogers. So yeah, this is getting what do you think? Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen reports. Not quite sure who this is. Sean Smith. Hey, whatever. The more the merrier. Carrie Lake, Sidney Powell, Mike Lindell, who has been supporting this kind of effort before. So yes, this is this is. So yeah, the Republican Party is using Lawfare to arrest Colonel Conrad Reynolds regarding this alleged electioneering, which A, we're not sure. We have yet to see if it did happen, and B, did it even violate the law? So and that leads me to the next thing that I titled about is events. There are multiple events to support Colonel Reynolds. There is one supposed to be happening on Monday. I'm sorry, it's tomorrow. It is Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. There is supposed to be in a rally for Colonel Reynolds when he is supposed to turn himself in. Let me see if I can find that. I had that. So there's details of the other thing, but I'm trying to find where they have the rally for Colonel Reynolds. Facebook, unfortunately, just flipped it around to where I had it on here. But it is in Batesville at around 8:30 a.m. There is supposed to be a rally in front of the Batesville courthouse. I'm just looking for the details regarding where that event is supposed to be. Let me look on my phone. I may have to post it. You've been very busy here. But I believe it's at Batesville is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Little Rock. Actually, maybe closer to 3. And there's all kinds of statements regarding this. So several people have. Harry McDougall is going to be part of the law firm defending Conrad Reynolds. Chris Corbett as well, and then I believe there's another person, a Wisconsin Supreme Court. There he is, Justice Mike Gableman of the Wisconsin Supreme Court is going to be on here. If you like what Colonel Reynolds is fighting for, there's a group called American Voter Integrity Initiative, and then there's an Arkansas chapter as well. And they're pushing to have support for Colonel Reynolds. But there is supposed to be a rally. I am trying my best to find that. Here it is. Got it. And I can save this as an image. Wednesday, October 15th, 8:30 a.m. Independence County Courthouse, Jail, Batesville, Arkansas. I can save this as a graphic and post it. And this post is by Kim Wyatt. Thank you for posting this up. I can save this link and post that as well. So when y'all see this, you're wondering what is it I'm talking about. There are the details regarding that. It's also in the comment section on Rumble. If you don't get a Rumble account so that you can see what is going on, again, you won't find stuff like this in most of your media outlets. And then before I do end this show, I want to talk about another event that is going on. And this is by Lori Justice. Many of you will be sorting Conrad and Batesville on Wednesday morning. But at 1:30 in Pulaski County, there is a guy by the name of Cole Shelby who is suing the governor regarding the special election. For those that don't know, Gary Stubblefield passed away. According to our laws, there's supposed to be a special election within 150 days of when someone either leaves office, either by passing away or resigning. There is also a fiscal session that's supposed to be going on. Gary Stubblefield's Senate district was mainly Franklin County. The fiscal session, they could hold an election and have someone represented about the time the fiscal session starts. But this is supposed to be Senate District 26, Patricia James is supposed to preside over the hearing. The lawsuit was filed October 6th on behalf of Franklin County resident Colt Shelby by a lawyer named Standifer and Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the Arkansas Secretary of State Cole Jester as defendants. It's to force a special election Senate District 26 seat was again left vacant with the September 2nd passing of Gary Stubblefield. Now, Attorney General Tim Griffin is trying to dismiss the lawsuit from even taking place. He filed a motion to not even hear the court case, but it looks like it's going to happen. So here's the details of this. It'll be at 401 West Markham in Little Rock, room 203 on the second floor. I probably will not be able to attend this event. And then here's apparently House District 70, which is actually Carlton Wing. Apparently there's been a delay regarding that election as well. And here's the details regarding that issue. Actually, let me just put the whole post on here. I think I should have done before. You can click on this Facebook link. It'll take you directly to the details regarding that event. So again, 2 events happening tomorrow, 8:30 in Batesville. Support for Connell Reynolds as he turns himself in to the fake charges of electioneering. And then at 1:30 p.m. in Pulaski County at this courthouse, this lawsuit regarding a special election for Arkansas Senate District 26. A lot going on. Also, one other event, I don't have it listed here, but Pulaski County Republican Committee will meet Thursday at the Republican Party of Arkansas headquarters at 6. And one final event that I wanted to leave people with today is actually Charlie Kirk's birthday. So a lot of people are wearing red. I'm wearing about best red I could wear, as you can see. And it's nice to remember Charlie Kirk in that way, but we also need to remember him and pushing for reforms, pushing for conservative values, pushing to fight for freedom for this nation. And that includes kicking out the rhino class of the Republican Party, the ones who ruined this nation, the ones who have been consistently sabotaging conservative efforts. That's one of the biggest things Charlie Kirk did, was kicking out Ronna McDaniel. And we saw what happened. We won after Ronna McDaniel and her consultant buddies were removed from the Republican National Committee. We won that election. And it's just blatantly obvious to anybody who looks. You can tell that's what happened. So find a way to get involved, find out if there is a Republican committee. If there is, help it in any way you can. Show up. If you can't show up, donate money to it. When people run for office, we're going to have filing within less than a month. People are going to pay money and run as either Republican or Democrat. Find out who is their campaign manager. And if that campaign manager has clients like the Arkansas Trucking Association, here it is right here on this guy's website. So find out if their campaign manager works for an organization that's okay with having illegal alien truck drivers. Find out if they're an organization like Entergy, which jacks up utility rates and is all for wasting money on green projects like windmills and solar panels. Find out if they're for things like the jab. And then decide, do you want to work for this person? Do you like the candidate, but can you say something about their campaign manager? Because I didn't know this stuff when I went to volunteer for people running for office. I didn't know who their campaign managers were, and what I ended up doing is basically working for them for free, and I ended up being used. And a lot of other people feel the same way. This is Meta. This is Facebook. Everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg is a big globalist. And a lot of the problems we have in this nation are because of him. Chris Caldwell has Meta as a client. And this guy ran the campaign for Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. These organizations run the Republican Party. And that's why the Republican Party allowed an illegal alien truck driver to go out and violate all kinds of rules and is probably going to get someone killed. So yes, this matters to you. You need to do something about it. Folks, I'm going to end this. I'm going to play the last 3 minutes to this, and then I'm going to cut it off. But y'all find a way to get involved.
We'll take you to your hotel.
Yeah.
Hotel.
All right, yeah. Yeah, come down there. Put it in there.
You get in.
Es como el momento arrestado.
$293 Little Rock.
293.
Sparkman's has that vehicle. I'm going to be 10-6 with the driver. I'm going to give him a ride back to the hotel at the exit 55. I'll let you know when we get there.
1029.
Okay. This is warning.
What? Oh.
Warning. For no English?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you didn't certify your logs.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
This is a ticket.
okay.
Ticket.
Chicken.
Ticket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Personal conveyance.
Okay.
No good.
No, okay.
Okay. Court date, time, court phone number.
Okay.
Your court date's November 5th, 2025, 9 a.m. here in Johnson County, Arkansas.
Okay. Oh.
Level 3 inspection.
Okay.
Your signature.
Wow.
Here's your copy of inspection. This needs to go to company. Okay. Your English needs to get better before you can drive.
Okay.
Okay.
No, no software for that. It's English. No. There's one. It's one.
Warning? Yeah. Warning, one ticket. One ticket.
One ticket, one water.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You can go. Be careful.
That's it.
$293 Little Rock. The driver's out of service, and I'm 1098.